Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to crochet these wonderful warm mittens. The mittens are made with a pattern of front post and back post double crochet stitches. All the details are coming up in the video. Let's take a closer look at these crocheted mittens. This is how they look from one side, the palm side. And this is the other side. These mittens are worked from the top down, from the fingertips to the wrist, then we'll crochet the thumbs. Now I'll show you how the finished mittens look on my hand. I'll show you how to crochet these mittens for a hand circumference starting from about 15 centimeters up to about 19 centimeters. Such a wide range of sizes is possible because they are made with crochet ribbing using front post and back post double crochet stitches. The fabric made with this stitch is very stretchy. It stretches well and returns to its shape. I crocheted the mittens with a thin yarn. Because of the yarn and the stitch pattern, the mittens are warm and don't restrict movement. You can move your fingers freely in them. The yarn has a gradient. This makes the mittens look unique. So, as I said, I'll be crocheting these mittens from the top down with ribbing made of front post and back post double crochet stitches. They turn out very stretchy. I will be working them in the round. The main part of the mittens I'll crochet with one hook size. But the part near the wrist, the cuff, I will crochet with a smaller hook size. This will allow the mitten to fit better on the hand. This part of the mitten I'll crochet with a smaller hook size. This will give the mitten the right shape and the mitten will fit snugly around the wrist. If you wish, you can make this part a little narrower or wider. At the end we'll crochet the thumb. Its size can also be adjusted. You can make it narrower or wider, longer or shorter. The mittens I'll be showing you how to make will fit a lot of people size-wise. The seam for joining the round is in this spot on the mitten. I'll show it to you up close now. The join is almost invisible because of the stitch pattern and the yarn thickness. On the thumb right here is where the round is joined. You could say that it's a seamless join, both on the body of the mitten and on the thumb. There are no unnecessary holes anywhere, and the join of the rounds is not noticeable. Everything is very neat, and let me show you the join up close. Right here you see there are no holes at all. The lines of the post stitch pattern flow from the main body of the mitten to the thumb. And here it's the same, the pattern transitions from the mitten body to the thumb. You can make the cuff of the mitten longer or shorter as you wish. Do what you like best. Let's start crocheting. I'll be using this yarn for the mittens. It's a sock yarn. This is the yarn label. The yarn is Schachenmayr Regia. Although it's intended for knitting socks, it's also perfect for crocheting mittens. Its composition is 75% wool and 25% polyamide. In 100 grams, there are about 420 meters. It's a classic sock yarn with a classic weight. You can use either this yarn or any other with a similar yardage. This yarn has a very beautiful soft gradient. I think you've already had a chance to notice it on the finished mittens. A special feature of this particular yarn is that at the beginning and in the middle of the skein there are these bright yellow sections of yarn. They mark the place from which you should start knitting the second sock, in my case the second mitten, so that the gradient is identical on one mitten and on the other. This is very convenient. I crocheted these mittens with a 2.5mm hook. But my tension is loose, so you can use a size 3 or 3.5mm hook. Okay, let's begin. To start, I make a magic ring. I wrap the yarn around 2 fingers like this. I insert the hook and like this I pull up a loop. And now, holding the ring with my finger, I'm going to work 3 chain stitches. Now into the center of this ring, I'll work 11 double crochet stitches. I'm working the stitches. I finished crocheting 11 double crochet stitches. The work now looks like this. Now I'll pull the yarn tail and the center has closed up. And there's no longer a hole in the middle. Now to join the round, I'll work a slip stitch into the top chain stitch. I insert the hook, grab the yarn and pull that same loop through the loop on my hook. I've completed the first round. As a reminder, in the first round I first made a starting chain, then 11 double crochets and a slip stitch. Now I'll chain 2 to start the new round. Now I will crochet a front post double crochet. I'm working it into the starting chain of the previous round. I insert my hook like this. Pull the yarn through this way and then I work it like a regular double crochet. Next I'll work a double crochet stitch. So in this round I am doubling the number of stitches that I had in the first round. Therefore in this round I will be working 1 double crochet into each stitch and 1 front post double crochet into each double crochet of the previous round. By doing this I'll turn the 12 stitches from the previous round, the starting chain and 11 double crochet, into 24 stitches by the end of this round. Here I work a double crochet. Next I work a front post double crochet around the post of the stitch from the previous round. A little later, when I've finished all the main increase rounds, I will show you the chart for these rounds. Perhaps some of you will find it easier to work from a chart. I'm continuing to work the second round. First, into each stitch I work a double crochet and then from that same stitch I work a front post double crochet. I'll continue this way to the end of the round. I'm approaching the end of the round. I'm working the last front post double crochet of this round. The work now looks like a circle. Let's count the resulting number of stitches. There should be 24, including the starting chain. I'm counting, I have 24 stitches, so everything is I have 24 stitches. So it's all correct. Next I work a slip stitch into the top chain stitch. In the next round I will again be doubling the number of stitches. I will go from 24 to 48. I've made a starting chain of 2. I work a front post double crochet. So I'm working just like in the previous round. I work a double crochet. Next, into the stitch of the row below, which is a front post double crochet, I work a front post double crochet. Now into the next chain I work a double crochet. And into the double crochet below, I work a front post double crochet. I continue working in the same way. A double crochet. Then into the stitch of the row below, I work a front post double crochet. I continue this way to the end of this round. I'm alternating between a double crochet and a front post double crochet. I'm finishing this round, just a few more stitches to go. A double crochet and the last front post double crochet of this round. In the completed round, there should be 48 stitches, including the starting chain. I'll double check that. I have exactly 48 stitches. So everything is correct. I work a slip stitch to join the round. The work now looks like this. The next round I will be working with front post and back post double crochet stitches. This is the main pattern for the mittens. I've chained 2 to start. The stitch in the row below is a front post double crochet, so I'll also work a front post double crochet. In the previous round I have a double crochet stitch, so I'll work a back post double crochet. I work it as follows. From the back side I wrap the hook around the post of the stitch below. And now I alternate between working a front post double crochet, where you wrap around the post from the front, and a back post double crochet, where you wrap around the post from the back. This pattern of front post double crochet and back post double crochet stitches is our main pattern. Crocheting a front post double crochet and now a back post double crochet. Next I'll work a front post double crochet again. I'll work like this to the end of this round. And the last stitch in the round will be a front post double crochet. The starting chain that I began the round with and will continue to use imitates our back post double crochet. At the end of the round I work a slip stitch. I finish this round. And here is the promised chart that I mentioned earlier. Perhaps with the chart it will be easier for some of you to work. The work now looks like this. From now on, all rounds until I start the thumb opening, I will work exactly as I worked the last round. That is, chain 2, then alternate a front post double crochet and a back post double crochet. So I will start each round with a chain of 2. Then the first stitch is always a front post double crochet. Then comes the alternation, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, and so on. The very last stitch will always be a front post double crochet. And then a slip stitch. And I'll work like this until I've completed the required number of rounds to reach the point where my thumb begins. I'll work all rounds in the same way. I'll try it on now to be sure I've crocheted the right number of rounds. Yes, this is exactly where the thumb begins. So I've crocheted the right number of rounds. You should try yours on in the same way. Now I've reached the point in the mitten where I need to make an opening for the thumb. I'll show you this on the example of the right mitten. Right here at the beginning I'll be making this opening. Then I will work a mirrored version of this opening on the left mitten. So we are making the opening for the right mitten. I'll chain 2 to start as usual. I work a front post double crochet. And then instead of a back post double crochet, I work a single crochet. Next, I'll chain 11 stitches. I work them quite loosely. If you need a larger thumb on your mitten, chain more stitches, say 13. If you need to make it for a smaller thumb, then work fewer chains, for example 9. You can work any other number of chains, but you must always make an odd number of chains. This is important. But I believe that 11 chains will work for most of you. I've chained 11 stitches. Now I need to skip 11 stitches on the main piece and attach my chain into the 12th stitch. If, for example, you chained 13 stitches, you'll need to skip 13 stitches. If you chained 9 stitches, then you'll need to skip 9. So whatever odd number of chains you made, that's the number of stitches you need to skip here. Here I'm counting the stitches to skip 11 stitches. You can also count them here. I chained 11 stitches, so I'm skipping 11. And in the spot where there should be a back post double crochet, I attach the chain of stitches with a single crochet. If you worked a different number of chains, you should attach the chain to the main work in a spot where there's a back post double crochet below. And next I work a front post double crochet. And then I continue working in pattern, a back post double crochet, a front post double crochet. And so on, I continue working to the end of the round. I'm working in the main pattern with front post and back post double crochet stitches. Here is the chart if you find it easier to work from one. I'm finishing this round. The last stitch of the round is always a front post double crochet. I work a slip stitch. This is what the thumb opening on the mitten looks like. Here's the join. This is the right mitten. For the left mitten, I will work a mirror image. I'll explain how now. Once I've worked the same number of rounds on the left mitten as I did on the right, I'll make a similar opening on the opposite side. When making the opening for the right mitten in that round, I first made 2 starting chains, 1 front post double crochet, then 11 chains, and then worked in the main pattern to the end of the round. For the left mitten, I did everything in mirror image. First, I chained 2 to start, then I worked 33 post stitches in the main pattern, alternating front post and back post double crochet stitches. Then I work a single crochet followed by 11 chains. Then a single crochet, at the end a front post double crochet and a slip stitch. As a result, I'll get a mirror image of the right mitten. This is the only difference between crocheting the right and left mittens. Everything else is worked identically. Next I will continue crocheting the right mitten. I've made a chain of 2 to start. Now I'll work a front post double crochet. Now the single crochet stitch I'll work as a back post double crochet. I'll work the 11 chains as 11 double crochet stitches, 1 double crochet into each chain stitch. I'm quickly working these 11 double crochet stitches. The single crochet from the row below I'll work as a back post double crochet. And then I'll work in the main pattern, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, and so on to the end of the round. I'm finishing this round. The last front post double crochet in this round. A slip stitch. The next round I'll work like this. The double crochet stitches from the row below I'll work as front and back post double crochet stitches. So, a chain of 2 to start. Here everything is as usual. Now a front post double crochet. Next a back post double crochet. Next, as in the main pattern, I'll alternate between front and back post double crochet stitches. I do it like this. I made an odd number of chains for the thumb so that the pattern would line up correctly as I continue working. Then I work the main pattern alternating front and back post double crochet stitches. Right now I'm working a back post double crochet. At the end of the round, a back post double crochet, then a front post double crochet. And I finish this round with a slip stitch. The work now looks like this. You can try it on and see how the mitten looks on your hand. From here you can switch to a slightly larger hook size. For example, if you started with a 2.5mm hook, you could now switch to a 3mm hook. I'll continue with the same hook size and I'll work as many rounds as I need to reach the point where my palm ends. You should also try on your mitten as you go to figure out how many rounds you need to work. I'll work all these rounds in the main pattern. I've worked the number of rounds I need. Now I'm going to work the cuff. I'll be working in the exact same pattern as before, but with a smaller hook size. You see here the crocheted fabric stretches well. But for the cuff area we need the mitten to fit well and snugly around the wrist. I was crocheting the mitten with a 2.5mm hook. But for the cuff I will be using a 1.5mm hook. This of course won't be very comfortable, but on the other hand it will allow me to make the cuff more snug. So I'll continue working just as before, only with a smaller hook size. This will tighten up the fabric. I'll work as many rounds as I need to get the cuff width I want. If you want a wider cuff, work more rounds. If you want it narrower, work fewer rounds. I'm working everything exactly the same, a chain of 2 to start. Then I alternate a front post double crochet and a back post double crochet. I finish the round by working a front post double crochet and join the round with a slip stitch. I'll work like this until I reach my desired cuff width. As I work, the circumference of the fabric will get smaller. I've worked the number of rounds I need, trying the mitten on periodically. As you can see, the fabric is tighter here. I'll try on the finished mitten now. I won't be working any more rounds, so I need to fasten off the last stitch, this one. I cut the yarn and simply pull the loop through. I pull the yarn and tighten it. Now I'll hide this yarn tail. I'll be hiding it with a crochet hook. To make it as invisible as possible, I do it like this. You see the stitch here. I pull the yarn through like this. And now the join is completely invisible. And then I weave in the remaining tail. I'll also need to weave in the tail that was left at the very beginning. Now the mitten looks like this. I have one last step left to crochet the thumb. On the right and left mittens it's worked identically. The main thing is to start crocheting the thumb right here. This is to ensure that the join of the round is as invisible as possible. So I take my yarn, I place the yarn tail inside. When I finish crocheting, I'll weave in this tail. Right here, I'm going to work 3 double crochet stitches together. First, I secure the yarn and chain 3 to start. Now I'll work like this. I've worked 3 double crochet stitches together. Next, in the row below, I have a front post double crochet. So I'll work a front post double crochet. Next, I'll work a back post double crochet. And I'll be working 11 post stitches this way until I work a front post double crochet, Next, I need to work 3 double crochet stitches together again. I work it like this. Next, I'll work front and back post double crochet stitches in pattern. Here I work a front post double crochet. Next, a back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, and so on. At the end of the round, I work a front post double crochet. Here I work a slip stitch. I've completed the first round. I chain 2 to start, and now we'll work as usual in pattern. I work a front post double crochet. A back post double crochet, and so on. I work like this until I reach the 3 double crochet stitches that were worked together. Where that stitch is located in the row below, I'll work a back post double crochet. I do it like this. Next, I work a front post double crochet. I continue working. At the end of the round, I work a front post double crochet. And then I'll make a slip stitch. The starting chain here, just like in the body of the mitten, imitates a back post double crochet. I work a slip stitch. And now, using the same familiar pattern, I'll work as many rounds as I need for the height of the thumb. The pattern transitions nicely from the body of the mitten to the thumb. Let's try on the mitten. I still need to work until the fabric reaches the top of my thumb. I'll be working exactly the same way I worked the body of the mitten, with front and back post double crochet stitches. Now I'll try it on to see if it's long enough. It's long enough for me. That means I just have to work the last round. So the last round I'll be working with decreases, and we do it as follows. I chain 2 to start, and then I'll be working post stitches but unfinished to make a decrease, like this. I start to work a front post double crochet, but I don't finish it. Next I work a back post double crochet. I don't finish it either. And I work one more front post double crochet, again not finishing it. Now I pull the yarn through all the loops, and that's how I get 3 post stitches worked together. I continue working in a similar way like this. And I'll work in the same way to the end of the round. In the last 3 stitches worked together while working the top, I'll also make a slip stitch to join. I've finished this round. There's an opening left here that needs to be sewn shut. For that, I leave a small amount of yarn, the rest I cut. I pull the loop through, which also fastens it off. I take a needle and I'll sew it shut. I sew it like this. Now I pull the yarn tight. At the end, I secure the yarn. This yarn tail will then need to be woven in on the inside. And so the mittens are ready. Thank you for crocheting along with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and see you in new videos.